learning new material. I was wondering if you could kind of discuss self-efficacy a little bit more, its role in the science of learning, and kind of where does the educator kind of sit with, facing self-efficacy in their learners, and what's their role in kind of managing that?
Yeah, so self-efficacy, right, is our belief in our ability to do something. So you can have very different self-efficacy for, I don't know, English literature than you do for math, right? That we have different beliefs in our abilities. But that's really what it comes down to, which means it's a very powerful motivator. If I'm walking into a task and I don't think there's any way that I'm going to be able to succeed in it, I'm not going to put in nearly as much effort in that because I don't think that I can anyway. So it's really important that folks feel like, yes, I can do this in order to persist at any given task. So that's why self-efficacy is so important. But this goes back to Albert Bandura is the first person who really talked about this and made it very popular in like late 70s. So we've known about this for a while. There are several different ways that we can improve self-efficacy. And so what I'll do is I'll talk about these and then how educators can use these, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first is our previous experiences. If I've been successful before, I'll be successful again. And so the advice to educators there is to try to build in small wins, right? So if I'm stopping during lectures and asking questions that are answerable, that folks know that they can answer, they're going to feel a lot more confident in their ability to answer clinical questions when they're in a clinical situation, let's say, right? So you can create those previous experiences by creating small wins. The next is experiences of others. So if we see that other folks have been successful, then we feel like, oh yeah, I can do that too. And so there, the idea is for medical educators or anyone to really highlight the fact that other folks have been successful, right? People just like you have done this, so I know you can do it too. The third is, hold on, messages from others, which is probably the most important one for educators. And this is just literally telling people, I know that you can do this. And so there's lots of different ways that you can say that same thing, but basically pointing out to individuals like you've done good things. I know that you can do this. I'm giving you that message that I believe in you, even when you don't believe in you. And then the last one is physiological or psychological state. Basically, we're less likely to believe in ourselves when we're really tired or hungry or angsty or whatever, right? And that one is a little less likely to control, but there are some things that you could do. So, for example, if folks seem like they're getting tired, have them stand up and stretch as one of those breaks, right? And then they come in, they're just a little bit more energized, right? When you start talking again. And so you're building up a little bit of self-efficacy for them potentially by doing that. So really anything that you can do to kind of think about that, like psychological or physiological state that folks are in can be good. And maybe this comes back to that engaging part too, right? If you can make them a little happier, then maybe that works a little bit there too. Yeah, so those and importantly, there's been research showing that you can do this. You can manipulate student self-efficacy and manipulate their course grades by incorporating these four things. So there was one study where a professor just sent emails targeting these four things after exams, and then on the next exam looked at their performance, and it went up compared to the other group that didn't get the emails, their performance was higher. So worth doing for sure.
In your opinion,
Those are
sorry, go
oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say those are really nice concrete tips of how to improve that self-efficacy. And I was just kind of reflecting that it seems like being a medical intern puts you at risk for all of the the things that are not supportive of learning. So maybe as a profession, we can help them not be as tired and hungry and
Well,
overwhelmed.
to your
To your point,
Yeah, I was thinking
Molly.
that as I'm saying this, like this is just medical students that I'm talking about right now.
Well, I was gonna say to your point, Molly, I feel like as a chief, my job was like constant self-efficacy promotion. Like it was my role, a big part of it was, the teaching side, but was also this kind of, you have done this before. Like I don't know how many of my supervisors were like, remind people that they've hit home runs before and that they will continue to do so. Like they're gonna admit 7 people because they have done that successfully before and kind of hitting on those pieces. And then the like physiologic state, like maybe somebody's hungry, like provide some food for them. Like I feel like that was